Hi guys, my name is John Buck. We're here to talk today about phishing. When I told somebody I was doing this presentation, they said, "Oh, phishing, is Elliot co-presenting with you?" And we're not necessarily talking about phishing with a fishing rod. We're talking about something a little bit more nefarious, people trying to steal your passwords, personal information, and confidential business data. So let's start with some statistics. 50% of small businesses have experienced cyber attack in the last, I think that's of all time. Now, 70% of attack targets are small businesses like Strata-G, thank you. And the scary statistic is that as much as 70% of small and medium-sized businesses that experience a data breach go out of business after 6 months. That's pretty terrifying. So let's start with some definitions next. What is phishing? Phishing is an attempt to steal passwords, personal or financial information, or infect computers with malware or viruses. They're designed to trick you into clicking a link or providing information. They're often in the form of emails or websites, and they may appear to come from legitimate companies, organizations, or known individuals. In the strategy sense, a lot of people try to impersonate Dan Hurst. He's a pretty important guy around here, so people tend to want to listen. You got to think about it. He's not going to be asking you for iTunes gift cards at 8 o'clock at night, okay? So common tactics they use are notification from a help desk or a system administrator. They might ask you to take action to resolve an issue. Dan Hurst himself they tried one of these on him, said that your email account has reached its limit on storage. Click here, enter your password, and we'll up your storage limit. He forwarded it to the IT department, we took care of it, we reached out to the people, got them shut down. They can try to send you fake invoices or shipping orders. This happened to, I want to say, Heather. She's asked us, she said, "I've never seen this account before, is this right, is this fishy?" And we looked at all the data, the metadata, and found out that it wasn't right. She didn't do anything with it. Common thing about this, in 2017, a guy took Google for $50 million just because he kept sending them invoices. And in a company like Google, they're just trained, I see invoice, I pay invoice. I see invoice, I pay invoice. And
is that how it works here?
I've tried. I can guarantee no.
Oh.
I've tried. So, you came in a little bit late. This is a conversation. If you have any questions, just ask.
Well, you don't have to worry about that.
I love it. I love it. So, another common tactic is asking you to change personal details, maybe changing your direct deposit number. They can sometimes use accusatory language. That's another one that's common, saying that they've already breached your computer and caught you doing sketchy things. Pay up some Bitcoin or we're going to tell everybody. Here's a little cartoon about data security. We can have all the technology in the world, but unless the end users are trained, it doesn't really do us the most good. So let's talk a little bit about spotting signs of a phishing email. This is the user participation section. Can anybody see anything that looks fishy? Shout it out, raise your hand, yell at me.
It's from 2014.
2014? I grabbed this picture from somewhere that was sent. That's not it, but I like it. Anybody?
All right, reserved.
Actually, yeah, that's one of them. Generally, if somebody's impersonating someone else, they don't know the standard signature that's attached to their email normally, and they'll just use some generic, it's help desk, admin team, copyright Microsoft. It's just generic. You can put that on anywhere. Anybody else?
Click here. Obviously that's the
Very good, Leah.
big problem.
Let's go to the next slide. Just click here. If you mouse over a link inside of an email, it'll pop up where it's wanting to redirect to. And this has itsaccessdesk.jigsy.com. That's probably not a website that any of us go to here for business, so it's probably malicious. If you see something that says log into your Google account and Google is highlighted and you mouse over it and it goes to malicious malware 123 at roosterteeth.org, it's probably not something you want to click on. All right, get a second opinion. That's what us here in the IT department are here for. It's our job to be stewards of this network and make sure that Dan's data and Dan's network is secure. You can just forward that email to us. We'd be happy to look at the data, the metadata, to make sure it is from who they say there is. And if we do think there's a risky virus attached, like I was talking about before, we can detonate it in our sandbox. So you can also think before you click. I think this is the biggest one. It goes back to a little bit to do your research, but again, just should I be getting an email from this person? Does this sound right? That's a big one. And never give out personal information. You shouldn't be emailing social security numbers. You shouldn't be emailing credit card numbers. You can encrypt them, but yeah. So let's talk about what the IT department has done to make this a little bit easier on you. We have introduced the phishing button. If you think you received phishing, you highlight it on your Excel inbox, click this button which is up on your home bar, it sends it to us. There's a confirmation message which says, are you sure? That way you don't accidentally, get rid of some things. It'll delete it from your inbox, it sends it to us along with all the metadata we need to look at it and make sure that it's legitimate. If it's legitimate, we just email that message back to you, and then you can open it and it's there just like it was before. If it's not, then what we do is we block it on a global domain level so no one else has to get phished from that email address. All right, let's talk a little bit about password security. We're pivoting a little bit. It won't prevent phishing, okay? But it will prevent brute force attacks. And what that is basically they try a bunch of different passwords over and over and over and over, and they try to guess your password. They can do this a few different ways. They can say, I want a password 8 characters long, and just start randomly generating digits. Or they can use a dictionary attack, where they use dictionary words, and they'll just throw some numbers on the end and try a bunch of different random combinations. With the speed that computing has gotten to these days, they can crack a 6 to 8 character password in hours. So longer the better. So password hygiene is how you combat that. It's a silly name for something that protects against not so funny consequences. Password hygiene. Password managers are fantastic. What we are about to implement here at the office is LastPass. I think we're rolling it out to 14 people to start with. It's a password vault. It saves your passwords and auto-populates fields, and I know every one of you is like, well, my browser does that already. I just click save, and then it pops up the next time I'm at a website, and that's all good, but it doesn't encrypt the password, so anybody who gets onto your computer will be able to see any of your passwords in plain text. Now we're rolling out LastPass Enterprise Edition, but you can get a LastPass Home Edition, and it's free, doesn't cost anything. The exact same functionality. You can log into LastPass.com and see all your passwords. It can even generate random passwords for you. You can specify, hey, I want a 32-character alphanumeric with symbols, and it just pops it up there and says, here you go. It's pretty good. Passwords are like socks. They should be changed often, every 180 days at the minimum. 90 days is preferred, but I know we all live busy lives, and changing passwords isn't something we want to be doing every 3 months. For most of our systems, we enforce it and make sure that you have to, but there are some that we don't have the capability to do, so please change your passwords. All right. We shouldn't share passwords. If you have to have a shared password, you should probably approve it with someone else and use a third account. I shouldn't be logging into T-Web and share that T-Web account. I should be logging into HR and share the HR account. That is the exact same thing. Yep, passwords are like underwear. Two-factor authentication is another thing that you can do to strengthen your password. What two-factor does is it requires the same password you've been using, but it uses something on your smartphone. It's usually a 6-digit number that rotates every 60 seconds. People that work out in Oak Ridge, they might have those RSA keys. Everybody know what I'm talking about? No? Yes? Okay. Well, you can get a private version of that on your phone, and that just adds an extra layer of security. So if somebody does get your password, they won't be able to get the 6-digit that rotates every 60 seconds. Oh, can't postpone. Fun stuff.
There's not gonna hurt you.
I love it. I'm certainly not going to reboot. Because I never no, I'm just kidding. The one I use is called Google Authenticator. It's free to use, gives you a new token every 60 seconds, and it just adds an extra layer of security to your things. All of our mission critical systems here at Strata-G in the IT department, such as email admin or things of that nature, we do use two-factor on. My clicker stopped.
Click back into the PowerPoint.
Thanks, do we get
All right. That's a common name for me.
I'd like to give a big thank you to Dan Hurst for letting me do this talk, Leah Berry for being such a great influence, Kate Homebrink for always bringing fishy snacks, and all of you for having this conversation with me. All right, well, thank you so much for coming, guys.